Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bear With Us podcast. I'm your host, Nolan Finley, and our first guest of this new series will be Coach Anderson. Coach Anderson, how are you?
I'm doing great.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it. A little bit about the podcast before we start. The Bear With Us podcast was originally started back in 2021 with Mr. Dulce when he did BBTV and all the tech classes. But when he left, it was put on halt, and we're bringing it back. So we're really happy that Coach is here and on the show. He's got a great story, and we're excited to hear about it. But before we find out your story, talk about yourself. What are some things you like? What should people know?
Coach Anderson, and I coach basketball, track, and football at Bradley Middle School. I also played 4 years in the NFL. I went to the University of Nebraska, and I'm from Philadelphia.
Nice, okay. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey into the NFL and some things that helped you get there?
Well, my journey started obviously in high school. I played high school football, and then I ended up going to a junior college in Riverside Community College, which was in California. I played there 2 years, and then I ended up getting a bunch of offers. I got offers from UCLA, Nebraska, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, USC. It's a bunch of other schools. So I ended up going there for 2 years, ended up doing good there. And then I ended up committing to Nebraska, playing there for another 2 years. And then after my final year at Nebraska, I ended up getting picked up by the Broncos.
Wow, nice. What made you choose Nebraska over all of those other schools? There's some pretty big names in there.
To be honest, I wanted to go to the SEC, but a lot of the SEC schools, they didn't accept like some of the classes that I took at the community college that I was at, just because there were a lot of them was online. So the SEC didn't accept them. So the only school I could go to was the Pac-12 and the Big Ten Conference. So that was one of the real reasons that I went to.
You wanted to keep those credits?
Yes.
Yeah, very smart. You're a coach now. Obviously, you've been coaching for a few years. What are some of your coaches, and what were they like? What inspired you?
I feel like some of my best coaches were the coaches that were the hardest on me, just because they held me to a certain standard, and sometimes I feel like, especially when you're good, sometimes you take stuff for granted or you don't work as hard. So my coach at Nebraska, Bo Pelini, was a good coach, and my coach Tom Kraft that I played for at junior college, they really pushed me to be a good athlete and a good student athlete also. So I'll probably say those two coaches. But just working hard, showing up each and every day, attacking the day, and not taking a day for granted, just because it seems like it lasts a long time playing sports and football, but it doesn't. It goes pretty fast, and once you're done, you're done. So,
wow, yeah, that's great. What got you into coaching after your career?
I just probably would say I always loved working with kids. And another thing I probably would say, just because I wanted to give back. I always wanted to give back because I know a lot, especially football-wise, because I played it for so long. So I always wanted to give back my knowledge and, just being willing to, help these kids out, teaching them some of the things that I learned along the way, some of the things I didn't do right along the way, and just giving them my knowledge.
Nice. You mentioned you're from Philadelphia.
Yes.
You went to college in California and Nebraska, and you played in Colorado. But what brought you to San Antonio?
To be honest, let me say. So my wife, our dog passed away in Nebraska. Then my wife was looking for a dog that looked the same as our dog that passed away in Nebraska, and the only dog we could find was in San Antonio. So we flew to San Antonio to pick up the dog. And then when we picked up the dog, we ended up picking up 3 dogs instead of one dog, because we picked up one for our mom and one for our aunt and one for us, obviously. And then we ended up liking the visit, and then we was like, hey, we want to move to San Antonio. So a month later or 2 months later, we ended up moving here.
Oh my gosh.
So it was one of the most random things ever, but
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie, it was probably one of the best things we did.
That's awesome.
Because I didn't even want a dog.
Oh my gosh.
No, I didn't want a dog. I was so mad at my wife, man, I don't want a dog. I was just so devastated. Our last dog passed away, and I'm I don't want to go through it again. So I don't want another dog ever again. And then we ended up getting a dog, and if it wasn't for coming here, getting that dog, we wouldn't even be in San Antonio.
Nice. Yeah, that's why dogs are better than cats, guys.
Yes.
If it weren't for dogs, we wouldn't have Coach Anderson. So during your NFL career, it was 4 seasons. It was a pretty good career.
Could have been
And
a
you-
little bit more though, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
You won a Super Bowl with the
Yes.
Broncos. Why don't you tell us what that was like?
That year was a great experience just because as a kid, like you dream of going to the Super Bowl, but you never really like thinking you're going to actually be in the Super Bowl. So like my first year there, I got to meet Peyton Manning, like DeMarcus Ware, a lot of the guys I grew up like watching and Hall of Famers. So being able to like meet them and actually like be a part of, the team was just like an amazing experience. And just like the whole, like that whole week of the Super Bowl weekend was just a fun experience. We got to do a bunch of media stuff. A lot of celebrities threw us parties during that week, so it was just fun.
Wow.
It was just fun. And then they fly your whole family out too.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh,
Yes.
they
So
do.
we had a big like double-decker plane. So it was an upstairs and it was a downstairs, and you could just bring all your family that you wanted to be on the plane. So that was fun because I got to experience it. And my family got to experience it, which makes it even cooler.
Yeah, that's awesome. Playing in the Super Bowl, it's the biggest American sporting event of the year. Did you feel any more pressure from doing that while you were playing?
Yeah, it does feel a little bit different because now, like, it's not just like the whole world, but you see the celebrities there. I got to see Usher, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. So it's like, all right, now it's real. The lights is on. Like, we got to perform. So yeah, it was just crazy. Just that whole week, just seeing like all the people that came out, all the media, all the athletes, all the celebrities, it made it like, oh snap, like we really here. We gotta make sure we win this game.
Yeah. Did other games after that feel small in comparison? Like obviously they're still viewed by millions, but not on the same level.
To be honest, no, because if you look at it that way, especially in the NFL, you're not gonna last long. Every game is equal to each other. The Super Bowl, the first game of the season, preseason, like you really gotta look at it. Each game is just like the Super Bowl because everyone is trying to get there. So everyone has that same mindset. So each game is important.
Yeah. That's a great mindset to have.
Now in college, it was a little bit different.
How so?
Because you just know, like, some of the teams, like, you're like, all right, we're going to beat up. We going to win this game.
Yeah.
When you go in the NFL, like, I seen us lose to, like, teams that we were, like, supposed to blow out just because we didn't show up to play that day.
I mean, it's the best of the best.
Yes.
Going up against each other. Yeah, that's awesome. Your story is great. It's inspiring. You have great words to say. All the kids at Bradley here love you. You've done great things here. Won district championship, helped us get back-to-back, which was nice. Yeah, and we really appreciate you coming on the show and talking with us. Yeah, so thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate y'all too, man. I appreciate all the kids, admin, all the teachers. It's really like a family atmosphere here.
Yeah.
So it's like a dream job to me just because I get to work with good people, amazing kids, and to do something I love. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it for the Bear With Us podcast, episode 1. Thank you to Coach Anderson once again. We'll be back with another episode and another guest soon. And thank you for the support. Bye.